The secret ritual that the Illuminati used from the 48 laws of power to dominate the world. What if you discovered how the Illuminati dominated the world using a forgotten law? There's a ritual the Illuminati practiced in the shadows of 18th century Bavaria, one you can find hidden within the pages of the 48 laws of power today. It's no coincidence. Adam Weishaupt, founder of the Secret Order, knew secrets that Robert Greene only rediscovered centuries later. Absolute power has always had its codes, and today you're going to uncover one of them. Picture this for a moment. You're in a dark room, surrounded by the most powerful men in Europe. They whisper words that can topple kings and build empires. This isn't a Hollywood movie, this really happened. And what they did in those secret meetings was unknowingly applying Power Law 38. Think as you like, but behave like others. The Illuminati understood something fundamental. True power doesn't come from standing out, but from camouflaging yourself among the powerful while manipulating structures from within. They infiltrated universities, Masonic lodges, royal courts. They didn't shout their intentions to the world, they whispered in the right ears. Weishaupt was an apparently ordinary man, a canon law professor at the University of Ingolstadt, practicing Catholic, respectable citizen. But behind this impeccable facade, he orchestrated a silent revolution that would change the course of European history. The ritual he created didn't involve candles or esoteric symbols, it was much more subtle and dangerous. Here's your first practical action. Identify the power circles around you. Not the obvious ones, but those where real decisions are made. It could be the executive's WhatsApp group at your company, the local businessmen's poker club, or even the parent group at your kids' school. Infiltrate without fanfare. Be useful, be trustworthy, but never reveal your true ambitions. Real power has always been about access, not position. The Illuminati knew this. And now you do, too. The ritual they perfected was simple yet devastating. Become indispensable to those who hold influence, but never appear threatening. Feed their egos while collecting their secrets. Make them dependent on your counsel while they believe they're using you. Think about the most successful people you know. They're rarely the loudest in the room. They're the ones others turn to for advice. The ones who somehow always know what's happening before everyone else. The ones who can make things happen with a single phone call. If you're starting to understand the real game of power, type infiltrate in the comments. And if this video is opening your eyes to secrets few know, leave your like and subscribe to the channel. There are many more revelations ahead. How the secret masters used the art of invisibility to control empires. The second Illuminati ritual was even more devastating than the first. They discovered that to control the game, you can't appear to be playing. While kings and nobles openly fought for power, the true masters remained in the shadows, pulling the invisible strings that moved the world. This is the secret behind Power Law 17. Keep others in suspense, cultivate an air of unpredictability, but the Illuminati went further. They cultivated an air of non-existence. Imagine the power of being considered irrelevant while you orchestrate history's most important events. There are records that Weishaupt had contact with figures like Baron Adolph Knigge, a man who moved through German aristocracy like a fish in water. Knigge wasn't seen as a threat, he was the man everyone wanted at their parties, the trusted advisor, the discreet friend. But behind the social mask, he expanded the Illuminati network throughout Europe, recruiting dukes, counts, and even royalty. The invisibility ritual works in 3 stages. First, you become indispensable without appearing ambitious. Second, you collect information from all sides without raising suspicion. Third, you influence decisions without anyone realizing the idea came from you. The Illuminati turned this into an art form. Think about the algorithms controlling what you see on social media today. They're invisible, yet determine what billions of people think, buy, and believe. The creators of these algorithms are the new Illuminati. They shape reality without anyone noticing who's behind the curtain. Your second practical action is mastering the art of indirect suggestion. Never say, "Think we should do this." Instead, plant the seed. I read somewhere that companies doing this tend to be more successful, or someone mentioned an interesting idea the other day. Let others believe the idea came from them. The human ego loves feeling creative and intelligent. Strategic invisibility isn't about being ignored, it's about being underestimated. It's about being present in all important places, but never being seen as a threat. It's about having total access while maintaining an appearance of neutrality. The most dangerous people in any organization aren't the ones making speeches or demanding attention. They're the ones quietly building relationships, the ones who somehow always know what's happening, the ones who can predict outcomes before they're obvious to everyone else. The Illuminati understood that whoever controls information controls everything, and whoever collects information invisibly has absolute power. If you're realizing how to apply strategic invisibility in your life, type shadows in the comments. Leave your like for more hidden power secrets and subscribe to the channel. Why the Illuminati created the inverted mirror ritual to destroy their enemies. The third Illuminati ritual was the darkest of all. They discovered how to make their enemies destroy themselves using their own weapons. It was what they secretly called the inverted mirror, a technique that Robert Greene codified centuries later as Law 44, disarm and infuriate with the mirror effect. But the Illuminati took this to a frightening level. They didn't just imitate their opponents, they made them become a grotesque caricature of themselves. And the most terrifying part, the victim never realized they were being manipulated until it was too late. Giacomo Casanova, the famous Venetian adventurer, documented in his memoirs a disturbing encounter with order members. He described how they could make inquisitors become heretics, virtuous nobles transform into the corrupt, and respected leaders completely lose their public composure, all without ever confronting them directly. The ritual worked like this. First, they obsessively studied the target, every word, every gesture, every belief. Then, they created situations where the person felt compelled to defend their convictions. Increasingly, extremely. Finally, they pushed the victim into territory where they became everything they hated most. It's like watching a vain man become ridiculous trying to prove his beauty, or seeing an honest politician become corrupt trying to prove his integrity. The inverted mirror transforms virtues into vices through the person's own intensity. Today, you see this happening constantly on social media. Someone posts something controversial, you respond with exactly the same tone and energy they used, but directed against them. Gradually, they escalate the aggression until they become exactly what they initially criticized. It's the inverted mirror in action. Your third practical action is identifying behavioral patterns in people around you. When someone attacks you or tries to diminish you, don't retaliate directly. Instead, reflect back exactly the energy they're projecting, but subtly. If they're arrogant, be humbly arrogant. If they're aggressive, be calmly aggressive. Let them get lost in their own distorted image. The power of the inverted mirror lies in making the other person self-destruct while thinking they're winning. It's like watching someone dig their own grave while thinking they're building a castle. Modern psychology calls this psychological mirroring, but the Illuminati understood its weaponized potential centuries ago. They knew that people's greatest strength, when pushed to extremes, becomes their greatest weakness. The Illuminati knew that the best way to win a war is to make the enemy fight against themselves. If you understood the devastating power of the inverted mirror, type reflection in the comments. Leave your like and subscribe to the channel for more psychological manipulation techniques. What if the Illuminati discovered the secret code to dominate minds without anyone noticing? The fourth and most dangerous Illuminati ritual was what they called necessity seeding, making people desire exactly what you want them to do, without them realizing the desire was planted. This was the final secret. The ritual that Robert Greene transformed into Law 12. Use selective honesty and generosity to disarm your victim. But the Illuminati went beyond simple generosity. They discovered how to create emotional voids in people and then position themselves as the only possible solution. It was psychological manipulation in its purest and most refined state. There are historical records that Count Alessandro di Cagliostro, one of the most enigmatic figures of the 18th century, used techniques that seem straight out of the Illuminati manual. He would arrive in cities offering miraculous cures, esoteric knowledge, and promises of transformation. But first, he would subtly create the very problems he later offered to solve. The ritual worked in waves. First, they identified a latent need in society. Second, they discreetly amplified this need through rumors, strategic conversations, and small events. Third, they emerged as saviors, offering exactly what everyone was desperate to find. It's exactly what happens today with products, politicians, and influencers. First, they create the feeling that something is missing from your life. Then they appear selling the solution. You think you're choosing, but you're actually following a script written for you long before you felt the first need. The fourth practical action is learning to plant beneficial necessities. Instead of offering help directly, ask questions that lead the person to realize on their own that they need to change something. How do you feel when this happens? What do you think would be different if? Have you ever imagined what it would be like if you could? Let them reach the conclusion themselves that they need what you have to offer. True power isn't in convincing someone of something. It's in making that person convince themselves. When the idea seems to have come from them, resistance disappears completely. The Illuminati understood that controlling desires is more powerful than controlling actions. Because when you control desire, actions follow naturally, and the person still thanks you for it. The secret ritual they stole from the 48 Laws of Power wasn't an esoteric ritual, it was deep understanding of how the human mind really works. And now, you possess this knowledge too. Think about the most successful salespeople, leaders, and influencers. You know, they don't push their agenda, they make you discover it. They don't solve your problems, they help you realize you have problems worth solving. If this video revealed secrets that can transform your life, type "awakening" in the comments. Leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and share this knowledge with those who need to see it. But be careful who you choose to receive these secrets.